I want to build an esports lab at your high school, so keep listening. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Generation Esports Report. I'm Coach Olney and we've got a very exciting episode today because it's officially the announcement of our Build an Esports Lab campaign presented by the Army National Guard. This is a really exciting day for me. This is the most ambitious project I've gotten to be a part of since I joined the team here at Generation Esports, and probably just one of the largest campaigns we've ever done. You're probably wondering what I'm talking about, so here's a quick overview. Our Build an Esports Lab campaign presented by the Army National Guard is building 25 esports labs at high schools all across the country because esports in high school just makes sense. Esports turns video games into a STEM experience, and the equipment that powers esports can double as a lab for coding, 3D design, animation, and video editing because they can power the software your typical computer can't. And Asus and Intel are hooking you up with the equipment. And no, we're not just gonna send you 6 of these and call it good. We're gonna teach you how to turn all of this into this by sending a professional to your school to lead them in a Build a PC STEM experience. And when we're done, you get to keep all of the equipment so you can have a full esports lab at no cost to you. This experience is open to all high schools in the United States. Okay, so now that we're on the same page, you can probably see why I'm so excited. This is a huge campaign, this is a huge deal. We're going to 25 high schools and building an esports lab at each one of them. This is something that I'm super passionate about. It's one of the reasons I joined the team, obviously, is how much I love high school esports. And it's gonna be really exciting getting to be a part of this. So the first question you're probably wondering, how do you apply for this opportunity? So we're gonna roll into that now. So how do you actually put your application in? Well, first step is get excited, and I mean really excited, and then head to hsel.org/esportslab. So once you're there, you're gonna fill out a request for an application. It's important to note you must be an official school representative to be selected for this and receive the official application via email. You're also gonna wanna check the little box so you can get notifications from our sponsors because they're the ones making this happen. Final step is fill out the official application sent to you. You're gonna wanna spend some time on this. You're gonna have to prove that you have space for the equipment, that you have the need for it, and why your school wants this and loves esports. It's gonna be pretty competitive, so the more time you spend on this, the more pictures and evidence you provide that your school's gonna take this really serious, the better. There's no limitation to what high school can apply for this. The more effort you put into this and the more need you have, the more likely you're going to get selected. And as a side note, if you're watching this and you aren't an official school representative, it's your job to tell someone about it and to get them excited about it. You can work with your teachers or sponsor of an esports club to fill out this application, work together on it, send pictures of your team, and just show how excited you guys are, because it's up to all of you to make this possible for your school, and we look forward to announcing the winners. All right, so some important dates for you to know if you want to participate in this campaign and try to bring this esports lab to your school. Applications are officially live. If you're seeing this video, you can go to hsel.org/esportslab and start submitting to get an application for this process. We're going to be collecting applications all the way through the end of the year, so make sure you get your application in or at least get started on it, because it is kind of a lengthy process and there's going to be a lot of questions that you want to put a lot of energy into. You're going to need to get photos, things like that. It's a big deal, it's a big campaign, and we want to make sure we're picking the schools that are really going to enjoy this and use this esports lab. So you have until the end of the year to do that. We're then going to go through a selection process and announce the winners the week of February 15th. That's going to be the week where we announce the 25 winners and start coordinating with you all on when we can come out and actually build the esports lab. Now let's dive into that part a little more. How are we actually building these esports labs? Essentially, we're gonna ship all of the components you need to build 6 PCs. Now obviously the PCs are gonna be identical. They're really, really nice PC builds. They're going to last your schools for a long time and be able to run any esports title you want. And it's really cool because the kids that are probably gonna be using them the first year are the kids that are actually building them. It's something that I wish I would have had in high school. I pretty much had to teach myself, and that's most kids. If you're in high school right now and you know how to build a PC, you probably taught yourself. So the opportunity for a school to actually provide this experience, I think, is really rewarding, and it gives kids opportunities to potentially build their own PC at home as well. It's just really cool, and it's kind of the heart of an esports program is obviously the equipment, and esports labs are important. Yes, you can play this all online, but the in-person experience is really where it's at. That's where you really build the teamwork and the bonding and the camaraderie and the coaching and everything that goes into a traditional sport. You get that with esports, but it's so much more amplified when you're actually sitting in a lab together. And so the fact that we get to bring that to 25 high schools is just so cool. Yeah, what else? Real quick, I want to touch on some of the companies that are actually making this possible, because it's obviously a very large campaign and we couldn't do it by ourselves. So the presenting sponsor is the Army National Guard. They're an amazing choice for this. They really work. A lot of people don't see that the Army National Guard really works to give opportunities to kids that they didn't know they had. They have such an amazing opportunity in so many different fields, including STEM fields, to be able to start your career out of high school. And they see that, and they see the tie in esports, and so they were just an amazing partner to find in presenting this opportunity to high schools. So when it comes to hardware, we have two sponsors we need to thank. Asus is obviously our big hardware sponsor for the year. They're sponsoring our entire league as well as this Build an Esports Lab campaign. So they're going to be providing a lot of equipment through their various brands that Asus owns. And we've got to thank Intel. Intel came on board to hook us up with the latest and greatest processors and even some storage, which is incredible and more than we were expecting. So thank you to both of them for providing hardware for these esports labs. And finally, we got to thank Extreme Networks. They're going to be a really big part of this as well. They really enjoyed what we were trying to do with this and helping make it possible for us. So shout out to Extreme Networks, and I look forward to working with you guys as well. And finally, I just want to say we're going to make this a really fun experience. We're going to do what we can from the content side and social media side to really make this fun for your school as well. I'm gonna be going to as many of them as possible. I want to collect as much content as possible. I also just love being able to meet all the people that are playing in our leagues and give any advice that I can. Obviously, I've been working in esports for a while now. I do content, social media, and I know a lot of kids have questions about that. It's gonna be really cool. I'm super excited about it, and I hope you guys are too. So make sure to get to work on those applications, get started, and I'm hoping that I get to go to your school in the near future to bring you guys an esports lab. And with that, that is going to be this week's Generation Esports Report, and I'll let you get back to the grind.